Personally, I'd consider myself a crafty gal. I have feeds on my Instagram and TikTok that are filled with DIYs that I think to myself, one day I will try those. And today, my friends, is that one day. So I thought I'd bring you along with me because I want to see if these viral DIYs are actually worth doing. Are they as easy as they seem? Do they require a ton of supplies? Did they make me want to rip my hair out? Because as someone who posts my own fair share of DIYs, I know sometimes that the editing process can be kind in masking how tedious sometimes a DIY is. So we're gonna figure that all out today. If you're new here, my name is Caitlin. I'm a content creator living in downtown Toronto. I'm 29 years old and I love talking all things organization, planning, crafting, books, life in my 20s, now almost my 30s. So if any of that tickles your fancy, be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss future videos. We got a lot of DIYs to tackle. So grab a beverage, grab a snack, sit down, and let me do the hard work. I have struggled with consistency when it comes to crocheting in 2026. So when I saw this tutorial pop up on my feed, I knew I wanted to give it a try. It seems pretty simple, so we're gonna give it a go with this Polaroid.
For this project, make sure to have an even number of holes on each side of the photo.
First need to make my holes. I have this kit, honestly used to belong to my mom. It's a scrapbooking kit. It has this poker that I think will do well at making holes with. I need to make even holes. We've committed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's no specific measuring happening here, and one can tell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why did I do 6 and not 8? Okay, here we go again, because apparently I don't know basic math. Again, 6 holes at the top. 7. This better be 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Why? What is wrong with me? Am I okay? We are definitely going off the tutorial now.
Now we're going to begin with a blanket stitch.
I need my embroidery needles. I already had this yarn on hand, but it's actually quite difficult to find one yarn, size 1 yarn at Michael's. Go from the front to the back. We come in and bam, blanket stitch number 1. 2, okay, I see there's a flowage that is happening here. I feel it. It's not perfect, but I think it's gonna be able to do what it needs to do. Chain 2 as told to, and then we are going to do 5 double crochets. So yarn over through 2 loops, and then yarn over another 2 loops. That's 1 double crochet. 2, 3, 4, 5. So there we go. And then the next one we just single crochet. And now we do 6 double crochets. I don't feel like I can be super fast with this because the string is so tiny. Some serious progress has been made, and honestly, once you get into the flow of it, it comes together quite quickly. I just was off camera for about 10 minutes. We've got a few more to do. Oh, I'm in stitches. I'm in stitches I shouldn't be in right now. So I won't lie, I don't think mine is quite as cute as the one from the tutorial. I think a solid color would be much nicer here, and also something that was brighter for spring. But this kind of matches the plants really well. This is another one that I did, and I believe this one turned out much cleaner than the one on my right, probably because I actually counted the right stitches. Overall though, I would definitely recommend this DIY. It's very good if you are a crochet beginner because it just uses basic stitches, and it's a great way to spice up a Polaroid or a printed photo. Just make sure you measure properly before making holes. Use a pencil to plan things out instead of being like me and just go stab, stab, stab. I feel like I've seen this craft DIY trend all over Instagram, and honestly I was hesitant to do it, not because I don't love it, but just because I have seen it around so many times. But at the same time, I have this frame right here that I always have felt like it needs something special, and then I kind of want to experiment with this one for something different. And in this frame I have a piece of lined paper that my grandfather actually has his handwriting all over because it was during a little mini lesson of him trying to teach me how to count in Portuguese. I actually have the video of him writing on this. It's a few years old now. Beautiful. It's so sentimental to me. I've always loved it in this frame, but I do feel like this white border could use some improvement, and the white border hides some other writing on it. So I think this would work for this craft. Let's first start off by taking it out. He wrote on the back as well, but I think I'm gonna show this side. I'm gonna take this out. And honestly, I feel like this piece of brown fabric will be such a nice pairing with this letter. First gonna place the paper down in the center, and then I'm going to put this and make it as straight as possible. Slip her in here. I don't really want to make this permanent, so I don't want to cut the fabric. It's just in case I want to use this fabric for another DIY, it gives me the opportunity to do that. Now, ta-da! I think this looks so cute. Perfect. It definitely has a lot more character than it did before, so I do really like that. Now, this frame used to be on my gallery wall. I do kind of want to retire it from my kitchen and or my living room, because eventually I do want to do some frames on the back wall there. But I want this print to have some time away from my eyes. Let's take her out. Sometimes I store multiple prints in a frame, so I'm actually curious to see if there's more than one in here. Oh, no, just the one. This is a great print. Now I've got a few fabric options. I could go red or green. We have this as an option. I actually don't think this print works in this frame because it's so white in comparison to the frame. Like, they're two different whites. I think I am gonna opt for the green one. So I'm gonna put this guy in here, place this again. Moment of truth. Oh, I think that looks beautiful. The green also picks up the green in the dress, so it's a good match. Love. So there you have it. I think this DIY was a success, and you know, the great thing about art prints and backings is that you can always change them out if you change your mind. I think these are both really pretty. A couple years ago, I got sent these pony beads in a PR package, and I've been waiting for the perfect project to use them for that isn't a friendship bracelet. Like, I kind of want to rethink the pony bead a little bit. So when I saw this reel that showed me how to easily, it seems, make a flower daisy keychain bag charm with pony beads, I knew this was the project I wanted to tackle. I think I'm going to go with the warm tones. Now, the creator of this video used a different type of elastic cord for her bag charm. I'm going to try using craft wire stems simply because I have it on hand and I'd rather use something I have rather than go out and buy all of this cord for one project. So we're going to see how this works. See, another reason I like the idea of this project is it uses this keychain kit that I bought for my leather project a month or so ago. I'm going to take my floral wire and I'm going to run it through my keychain roughly at the halfway point. I think I'm going to do my first flower in purple. Like the video tells me to, put 2 beads and then use my right strand of wire and thread it through the same hole. And then we're going to push this up. The only thing with the wire is you just have to be a little bit more patient with shaping things before moving to each step, because if you make a mistake, it's harder to fix it. I find pulling one side and then the other works better than just pulling both sides at the same time. We're gonna follow the same pattern that I did for the purple one. And there she is, my little flower bag charm. I also made a blue one, which I thought was very chic, using like different hues of blue if you wanted to kind of keep it monochromatic. Using craft wire was definitely the best result of the things that I have on hand. But if you wanted it to look a little extra finished, I think that original elastic cord that the creator uses would probably be better, especially if you're gonna make a ton of these. I think this is fun. There are so many different journal DIYs, notebook DIYs that I've seen pop up on my feed. I'm just like very much so on Journal Talk, Journal Instagram, Planner Instagram, and seeing people do cross stitching on their journal covers I think is so beautiful. I've seen countless videos like this. Although I've never cross stitched before, I do have embroidery thread on hand from Felt Projects. I have a needle, I have paper, and I have notebooks. So I think this is all very achievable with things I already have on hand. I'm gonna do my embroidery on this plain Muji notebook because it's plain, so it needs some love. I have the color 3834 and 731 here in embroidery floss I'm gonna use. Because I'm using two colors, I'm gonna use two different color pens so that I can keep track of when I need to change the thread. And I used this kind of image online to get a rough idea of like something that I wanna do, which I think a flower makes the most sense. So I'm just gonna start making X's. I don't really know what I'm doing here, but I think it'll turn out. It's looking flower-esque. I'm gonna take my notebook here and I have to position it properly. Next step is taping it so that we don't lose track of where we're going. And then my mic died, so I'm gonna narrate what I did here. After making my design, I taped it to my notebook so that it stays sturdy and poked all the holes out. Essentially, wherever my design touched a line on the grid paper is where I'd poke a hole. And then it was time to start some embroidering. I purposely didn't create a knot at the end of my floss. I just taped it instead of knotting it so it wouldn't create a bump when I'm actually using the notebook, because otherwise a knot would raise the paper, and anytime I'd write on the left side of the page, it would probably make my handwriting all wonky, so I didn't want that. And then I just had to go through the process of stitching everything. This is not difficult really at all. I just would have to consult my image every now and then just to make sure I was adding the right color to the right spot. But the real process is just tedious, time consuming. It's probably a good project to do while watching a movie or your favorite TV show. I think this is such a unique way to personalize a notebook or even potentially a journal cover that you just want to have look a little extra special, be customized if you're giving it as a gift. So I do highly recommend this, although I will note it is, like I said, more of a tedious DIY to do, but once you get in the flow, it's kind of therapeutic. So I really love this one. After making those floral bead charms, I was scrolling on Instagram and found this post where someone upgraded their Coach bag with this long rope of beads. And I'm like, wait, I have lots of beads. I could make a long rope easily and spice up this bag right here, which otherwise is pretty plain. It's from Uniqlo. I got it a couple years ago. I don't know if they make this exact same style. If they do, I'll link it down below. And although I like the plainness, I think for spring, summer, it could use a little personality with a charm like this. So my thought is if I make a long rope of beads, I can put it on the side here just to give it a little something something. Got my beads. I'm thinking though for color palette, we're probably gonna go more in earth tones. I'm gonna actually use the elastic cord that it came with. We are going to use a gold hook. I'm gonna attach one end to this side and I'm gonna make a nice knot. And I'm gonna double knot it just to make sure it's really secure. Now it comes time for color scheme. I'm thinking like these would be really good, some browns. Okay, I'm not really gonna get too picky about the pattern here. I just want a general color scheme, so I'm just gonna thread these through. Now what I need to do is take another one of these hooks and I need to tie it on pretty tightly. I think this is gonna be a really cute bag charm now. I like to wear the bag on my right side, so I want it on this side of the bag. This on one end, and on this side, hook this end, and there you go. The cutest little charm. I think this is a success. So easy, anyone can do it. I'm free to take it off whenever I want, add it to a different bag, use it for an entirely different purpose, who knows. Big fan. Of all the DIYs I tried today, I think my favorite is tied between the fabric picture frames and the beaded bag charm where I just did like the single line of beads. I feel like both of those DIYs were so freakishly simple to do, but created such a great result. And both of them feel like something I could potentially buy in a store for a lot more money. I mean, the embroidered notebook cover was also really good. That one though was a little bit more tedious because you got to do all that embroidering. There's so many more viral DIYs I need to try though. So if you want to see me do another video like this, be sure to hit the thumbs up and let me know in the comments. Also, let me know which project was your favorite. On that note, I'll see you all soon with the new one. And until then, bye guys.